Welcome, everyone. This is Mike Dotterer, and you're on the dot. And usually we have a guest that comes on the dot, but now it's just going to be me, myself, and I, and we call this Dot on the Dot. And you're probably wondering, what's this all about? Peace. And what's this beautiful peace sign behind me? And what's the symbolism behind this, what I'm wearing and the background? Well, I want to wish everyone happy Armistice Day. And the reason I'm calling it Armistice Day is that was the original name for Happy Veterans Day. And I don't know if you know about the history, but I went back and did some research, and it was to just the cessation, to commemorate the cessation of hostilities during the First World War. So it was celebrating the end of the First World War. That's what the origin of this very special day is. So it has to do with peace and ending war. It's kind of lost its meaning because, and I'll take you through a little history. And by the way, I also am dedicating this on the dot, and for every on the dot until November 5th, 2024, which is a big day in the United States because that's a year from now, we'll be electing a new president, less than a year from now. And I'm dedicating every on the dot to my cousin, Skylar Dotterer. And Skylar is going to be joining the Marine Corp. And I want to make sure that we have the greatest leadership in this country that can bring about peace for Skylar and all those that are serving today. And I want to thank all of the men and women that are serving today and the veterans that have served, and also all across the world. I want to thank everyone that's protecting freedom and liberty and democracy and bringing peace to our planet. And that's what the theme of this talk is all about, even though we're going to get into at the end some fun stuff. But let's get back to the history of Armistice Day. It was November 11th, the 11th hour on November 11th, 1918. And that was the end of the Western Front. It was, again, the cessation of hostilities on the Western Front, in a book that everyone should read. And I'm going to actually read it again. I've watched it. I think I read the Cliff Notes, but I need to read the book. And everyone should read it. It's All Quiet on the Western Front. And it was written by Éric Marie Remarche. And highly recommend that book. And it talks about the horrors of war and why we need peace. And that war, it's interesting when you look at that war, that was supposed to be, the First World War was supposed to be the war that would end all wars. And we would have peace in our time, and we could live peacefully on this planet. Well, in the First World War, there were 20 million people that died. I thought it was 10 million, but I did some more research, and let's just say 10 million to 20 million. But if you do your research, I think you'll find it's 20 million that people that perished in the First World War. And we had the Versailles Treaty, and that put an economic stranglehold on Germany. And then Germany struggled during the 1920s with hyperinflation. And then in came the Nazi Party. And that was the beginning of the Second World War. And guess how many people perished in the Second World War? Between 70 and 75 million people died in the Second World War. And the Soviet Union and China, they suffered more casualties than any other country. So we, even though in America, a lot of the leaders say, oh, they're our enemy. Well, they've suffered a lot. I mean, they had many more casualties in the Second World War than the United States. So I believe that we need leaders that focus on peace. And one of the great things we have today is we have social media. So every one of you, instead of posting pictures about where you're traveling, and you can continue doing that, but every day you should mention peace. Because if millions and millions of people, and I'll even go to say billions of people, because we have over 8 billion people on the planet, if all of us start to talk about peace, we need peace, then it will happen. There's no doubt about it. But if we think war, if we want war, then that will happen as well. And I learned that in sports. It's kind of in baseball when I remember hitting, and if I thought I was going to strike out, I struck out. Well, if we believe in peace on our planet, we can have this. And I hope this video goes viral. And this peace sign in the back, the reason I chose it is I've been to Hiroshima. And if you haven't seen the movie Oppenheimer, you should go see it. It's a great movie. And if you ever get a chance to go to Hiroshima, you should go. That's where the United States dropped a bomb on Japan in the Second World War. And we also dropped an atomic bomb on Nagasaki, two bombs. Well, today, the hydrogen bomb, which I think is an old bomb, I just read it's 1,000 times greater than the atom bomb. And so we have to, for the survival of this planet, for all of the wonderful people, for the animals, for the plants, the fauna, for the oceans, for the fishes and the great beings on our planet, we have to fight for peace. And we need leaders that talk about peace. And it's not a game. It's not a video game. I like to say it's something that we really have to fight for. And I encourage all of you to get this message out. So this coming election, there's 4 candidates that I've identified that I truly believe will fight for peace. The first candidate, he just put his name in the hat, and his name is Dean Phillips, and he's running as a Democrat. He's many of you may have not heard of him, but he is from the great state of Minnesota, and he's a congressman. He went to Brown University, and then he went to graduate school at the University of Minnesota, got his business degree, was a businessman, so he understands business. And if you get a chance, you can look up his interview with Bill Maher. Bill Maher had him on a couple weeks ago, and that's when I first heard about him, and I really liked him. So he's coming from the Democratic side. He's running as a Democrat. Then we have, as an independent, someone who I really admire and I believe has a chance to be the next president of the United States. That's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And so you can, RFK Jr. is his initials. And I highly encourage you to look at Robert F. Kennedy as a serious candidate. And then on the right, we have 2 candidates. We have Vivek Ramaswamy, and Vivek, also an Ivy League graduate from Yale and then Harvard Law School, successful businessman, and the youngest Republican to ever run for president. And then finally, Nikki Haley. And I talk about Nikki Haley because I think we need strong women leaders in our country, and she's definitely a strong woman. And I would love to see Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and Dean Phillips have a debate. All 4 of them. Forget about NBC, CNN, Fox, all the networks. Just do it on X. You'll get more audio, you'll get more eyeballs, more people will watch on different platforms that we have in social media than ever before. So I encourage the campaign leaders for Dean Phillips, for Robert F. Kennedy Jr., for Vivek Ramaswamy, and for Nikki Haley, to come together and have a debate, because I think it would be a great debate and it would break all records, no doubt. So let's get on to the fun stuff. The fun stuff starts with American football, because it's American football season. And I want to just say that I'm excited. Tomorrow night, I am going to attend the CBA versus CNS football game, and that's here in Syracuse, New York. And CBA stands for Christian Brothers Academy. And that's where my father went to high school, and my uncle went to high school, and my cousins went there. And by the way, it's my father's birthday today. My dad was born on November 11th, 1930, and he would be 93 years old today if he were here physically, but he's up where we go when we transition. So hi, Dad. Love you and happy birthday. I want to also send a happy birthday message to my good friend, Dr. D, and I'm going to send her this video. Dr. D, who's was an orthopedic surgeon. I think she's retired, but she knows who she is. Happy birthday, Dr. D. And also my former friend who I sold cars with, Yaz. Happy birthday, Yaz. And I'm going to send this to Yaz as well. So tomorrow, Christian Brothers Academy plays CNS, which is Cicero North Syracuse, at the GMA Wireless Dome, which used to be called the Carrier Dome. And it's the dome here in Syracuse where the Syracuse Orangemen and Orange Women play. And they play football, basketball, lacrosse. There's concerts there. And it's good that they're playing tomorrow in a dome because it might be a little bit cold tomorrow here in upstate New York. So that's a big game. It's for the sectional championship. And I had a chance to meet Coach Casey Brown and the athletic director, Buddy Valensky. And they have done a great job at CBA, and I know are ready to play a good game against CNS. Also, I want to congratulate my 4 high schools that I went to. Rio Americano High School had an outstanding season. They went 9-3 this year. That Rio Americano's in Sacramento, California. So a shout out to my Rio Americano friends and my best man, John Simas, and Ken Simas, and Donna Simas, and Mark Simas, and Lisa Simas, because I wouldn't have gotten into football if it weren't for the Simases. So thank you. And also to Max Miller, and I'm going to tie Max Miller into something I'm going to talk about in a few minutes here. And want to congratulate Reno High School. I went to Reno High School, which is in Reno, Nevada. They went 4-7, even though they didn't get over 500. For any of you young people or anyone that's interested in sports, you learn more by losing and adversity than you do by winning. So Reno High, the Reno Huskies I'm sure learned a lot this season. And a shout out to my good friend, Coach Pete Savage, who's the head baseball coach at Reno High and one of the great baseball coaches in the country, along with my Uncle Tom, who just retired as the head baseball coach here at Christian Brothers Academy. And then Mater Dei High School, probably one of the greatest football high schools in the country, outstanding academic school, just like Christian Brothers here in Syracuse. Mater Dei's in Santa Ana, California, and they are playing this coming Friday. They're playing Sierra Canyon, and they ended up my good friend Tim O'Hara, and I'm going to send this to Coach O'Hara. Coach O'Hara is one of the coaches there at Mater Dei, and Coach Rawlinson retired last year. He was my coach, my running back coach, back in 1977, and also helped me run track. So a great shout out to Coach O'Hara, and Mater Dei is 10-1, and they have one of their players is going to be attending Stanford University, the quarterback, and I wrote his name down here, Elijah Brown. So good luck to Elijah Brown. He's the quarterback at Mater Dei. And then finally, Edison High School, where I graduated my senior year, and congratulations to Coach Grady. And they went to the playoffs. They went 6-5 in the overall, but 4-1 in the Sunset League. And I see they got the bell back again, or they've had it for a while, which is the rival school, Fountain Valley High School. And they had a good season. I mean, they got to the playoffs, but I know they want to do better next year, and I'm sure they will. And that is a good segue to someone that's going to be coming on the dot. And he was one of the great quarterbacks from UCLA, Rick Bayshore. And he also went to Edison High School. I had a chance to play against him when he was at UCLA and I was at Stanford. And Rick has put together the Edison Quarterback Club. And if you get a chance, go online or onto YouTube and type in Edison Quarterback Club. And he's put up all these videos of games that many of us played in. And it's just amazing what he's doing. And we're going to have him on the dot to talk about his vision, because it's something that every high school, and I believe there's close to 70,000 high schools around the country. And he's putting together a cookie cutter program that I believe other high schools are going to be able to use. So, Rick, we're going to have you on the dot soon, hopefully next week or the week after. And then also want to let you know that we're having Annie Ridgely and her partner, Todd Marinovich. And you might not know Annie. She's quite the entrepreneur. They live in Hawaii. She runs Ohana Nut Farms and Shine Naturally, which is a skincare company. And Todd Marinovich is a name that you might have heard of. Todd and I have something in common in that Todd was on the cover of Sports Illustrated and he was throwing the ball. I happened to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I wasn't throwing the ball. I was blocking for my teammate, John Elway. So Todd and I have something in common. He went on also, he played at Mater Dei where I played. So we have that in common. And then he went on to play after his career at USC, where he was a great player. He went on to play for the Raiders. So we also have that in common. So I'm excited to have Annie and Todd on the dot this coming Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern, and that's 11 a.m. Pacific, and that would be 8 a.m. Hawaii time. And they're going to be coming on the dot, and I'm so excited because we're going to talk about MarinovicArt.com. Todd's a great artist, and if you want to see his art, just go to MarinovicArt.com. Okay. And then finally, I can't wait to get my good friend John Simone back on the dot. We call it Little Text on the Dot, and we're going to talk about his book that's coming out about his father. And then I want to give a shout out to my classmate from Stanford, Joy Menanagel, and she has got a book called The Good You. And I saw Joy at our reunion. It was our 40th year reunion, 40 years ago this year. I graduated from college, and I saw Joy, and she told me about her book, and I got all excited, and I said, you got to come on, Joy, on the dot. And it's called The Good You, and I'm getting I get to read it before it's published. So when we get her on the dot, I'm going to know a lot about the book. It's a great book, and it talks about how we all have an opportunity to do good, and we can and it has to do with our mindset and how we feel about ourselves, and it's something that I'm excited to share, and Joy and I are excited to share with all of you. Finally, it's a big day for our Stanford Cardinal. In about 30 minutes, they're going to be taking the field, and they may have already been taking the field up in Corvallis, Oregon. So I'm going to put my Stanford hat on, and they are playing the Beavers. And Stanford coach Troy Taylor, who's doing a great job. He kind of reminds me of Bill Walsh, who recruited me and John Elway and many great players to Stanford. And Coach Taylor's doing a great job. It's his first season. And if we can beat the Beavers tonight, and then next week is the big game against Cal, and if we can beat the Cal Bears, and then the final game is Notre Dame coming to Stanford. If we win all three games, we're going to go to a bowl game. So you never know. As they say, any given Sunday in NFL, it's also any given Saturday. So there's always upsets, and I'm just wishing Coach Taylor and the team up in Corvallis all the best of luck against the Oregon State Beavers. And then finally, tomorrow, the Raiders. I got my Raider hat, and I got my Raiders Super Bowl ring. They're probably not going to win the Super Bowl this year. I would love for them if they won the rest of their games, which you never know, they could. But I'm wishing them good luck tomorrow night against the Jets. It's Sunday night football, so good luck to the Raiders tomorrow night, and a shout out to Mark Davis and the entire organization. With that, again, peace. You all can make a difference by talking about peace. That's what we need. And let's get the word out to Dean Phillips, to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., to Vivek Ramaswamy, and to Nikki Haley. The four of them should have a debate, and because it would be our country would be better for it. Okay. God bless you. Happy Armistice Day, and happy, wishing all the veterans and those that are serving. Thank you for everything. And also Skylar Dotterer, my cousin, thank you for joining the Marine Corps. He'll be joining next year, and he just turned 18. So God bless you, Skylar. God bless all our soldiers, and God bless America. Have a great day, everyone.